must rise up. The armed forces are not neutral. They collude. They collude. They collude with the armed bandits. They kill people, kill Nigerians. They facilitate their movements. They cover them. If you are depending on the armed forces to stop the killings, you will all die one by one. Us must rise up. The armed forces are not neutral. They collude. They collude. They collude with the armed bandits. They kill people, kill Nigerians. They facilitate their movements. They cover them. If you are depending on the armed forces to stop the killings, you will all die one by one. Us must rise up. The armed forces are not neutral. They collude. They collude. They collude with the armed bandits. They kill people, kill Nigerians. They facilitate their movements. They cover them. If you are depending on the armed forces to stop the killings, you will all die one by one.
It's more called
Mr. Pro. I'm doing it. Yeah. I'm going home. I'm going home. I'm going home. I'm going home. United Nations. I'm going home. Chukwuagama. I'm going home. I'm going back to Biafra.
Mega workshop. The Biafra Republic Government in Exile UK Liaison is conducting a one-day mega workshop on Saturday, 12 October 2024. Time from 10 a.m. in the morning till 5 p.m. in the evening. Come and get assistance on how to apply for your Biafra national ID card. For your registration of the Biafra Declaration Convention in Finland, 2nd December 2024. To guide you on how to vote on the Biafra self-referendum, to help assist you on how to use the BIAFRACOIN, to help assist you on how to also stake the BIAFRACOIN, to help guide you on how to do the Biafra IOU loan, to help assist you on how to support the Biafra Liberation Army. Come with your devices, laptop, phone and tablet. Invite your fellow Biafrans. Venue: Ladywood Methodist Church, St. Vincent Street, Birmingham, B16 8RW. Important info: this is our last workshop before Finland Convention. Please try to apply for your Biafra ID card and register for the Finland Convention. Contact us +44 79 28 48 33 32 or +44 74 48 28 26 51 or +44 74 47 92 91 63.
It's more called
Mr. Pro. I'm doing it. Yeah. I'm going home. I'm going home. I'm going home. I'm going home. United Nations. I'm going home. Chukwuagama. I'm going home. I'm going back to Biafra.
Mega workshop. The Biafra Republic Government in Exile UK Liaison is conducting a one-day mega workshop on Saturday, 12 October 2024. Time from 10 a.m. in the morning till 5 p.m. in the evening. Come and get assistance on how to apply for your Biafra national ID card. For your registration of the Biafra Declaration Convention in Finland, 2nd December 2024. To guide you on how to vote on the Biafra self-referendum, to help assist you on how to use the BIAFRACOIN, to help assist you on how to also stake the BIAFRACOIN, to help guide you on how to do the Biafra IOU loan, to help assist you on how to support the Biafra Liberation Army. Come with your devices, laptop, phone and tablet. Invite your fellow Biafrans. Venue: Ladywood Methodist Church, St. Vincent Street, Birmingham, B16 8RW. Important info: this is our last workshop before Finland Convention. Please try to apply for your Biafra ID card and register for the Finland Convention. Contact us +44 79 28 48 33 32 or +44 74 48 28 26 51 or +44 74 47 92 91 63.
Must rise up. The armed forces are not neutral. They collude. They collude. They collude with the armed bandits. They kill people, kill Nigerians. They facilitate their movements. They cover them. If you are depending on the armed forces to stop the killings, you will all die one by one.
My fellow Biafrans, friends and well-wishers that are observing this tour of Africa today. I am not here to make long speech as usual. I'm just here to change the dynamic of everything. Today, I want to use this opportunity to announce to entire Biafrans all over the world our next phase of the Biafra liberation. The next phase of the Biafra liberation is the forceful delegitimization of the Nigeria terrorist state within Biafraland. What do I mean by this? Our next phase is enforcement. Enforcement of the closure and the lockdown of every presence of Nigeria for the next 1 month. Our next 1 month lockdown is going to be enforced. For the very first time in the history of the Biafra liberation, we are enforcing the lockdown of Nigeria within Biafra territory for 1 month. What did I say? Enforcement. We are going to use force. The Biafra Liberation Army for the very first time will engage the Nigeria terrorists in quest to push them out of our land, and we are going to have a test. The test will be for complete 1 month. We will lock down the offices. The offices to be locked down in Biafra land will be listed in days to come. We're going to list all of them so that nobody will say they don't know about it. And of course, we will make sure that civilians in Biafra land are protected. Our guns and ammunition and arms will never go against civilians. This targeted eviction and delegitimization of Nigeria has become a must. It has become inevitable as we continue to fight the terrorists within our land. Our aim and objective is to completely eradicate Nigeria. And of course, we are going to have a test of what is to come after December 2nd. So the announcement for the 1 month lockdown of Nigeria system within Biafra land will come in a week or 2 weeks to come. We will give you the date from when to when, and of course, also list the offices that will be locked down for 1 month in Biafra land. And like I said, we will enforce it. We will enforce it with force because we are fighting a terrorist state with guns. And of course, one of those offices will be barracks. One of those offices will be police stations under Nigeria. One of those offices will be government houses. So you don't need ordinary stick to enforce that. It is a test that the whole world will sit and witness. The time has come that our own freedom is taken. Our future is in our hand. And what we are doing today is to make sure we protect the life of our women and children. So my fellow Biafrans, in the coming weeks, I want everybody to pay attention to the updates that will be coming from our handles. The delegitimization of Nigeria within our land is taken to the next level. And there's going to be enforcement. And remember, if we do not destroy Nigeria today, Nigeria will destroy us. If we do not end the terrorist state of Nigeria, the terrorist state of Nigeria will end us. We cannot see and sit and watch a state that kills its own citizens, that have no regard to human dignity and have no regard to women and children. That kind of state is not a state anybody can support. We've seen the massacre of Biafrans, massacre of Christians, massacre of many indigenous nationalities in other parts of Nigeria. They are as human as us. They have nobody to speak for them. They have no government in exile like you do. They have no Mazi Nnamdi Kanu like you do. They have no Simon Ekpa like you do. They have no cabinet members in the government in exile. They have no de facto government in the homeland. Nobody speaks for them. Nobody fights for them. They have no liberation army. They have no resistance fighters. They have nobody to defend them. And these people are getting killed every day. We need to make Nigeria very, very uncomfortable. And believe me, the more Biafra fight Nigeria, the more we save life in other parts of the country. Especially the life of those Christians who have nobody to speak for them. We are going to draw these people to our land and neutralize them. Like Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said, that's exactly what we're going to do. So I want every Biafran to understand that during this 1 month lockdown of the Nigeria terrorist state institution in Biafra land, our businesses will be flourishing. People will go to work. Those that are Biafrans, if you are a business person in Biafra land, you will go to your shop, go to your market. Nobody will disturb you. We will make sure that your market will be protected. We will make sure that nobody will attack you in the market. We will make sure that when the terrorist army and police come, we will be in the street. The first time the Biafra forces will be on the street. This is going to be this 1 month that is coming. So our market will open. Our businesses will open. And let me also tell you that when people say that, oh, Simon Ekpa is now, attacking the government directly, you think we will start attacking the government from the beginning? It is a step-by-step. It is a gradual process. We have come to the point that we have conditioned the Biafra people. We have conditioned those in our land, and our people know exactly what we are doing, why we are fighting for them, and the reason they have to obey, and also give their trust and their loyalty to the Biafra government. And today, we've succeeded in delegitimizing Nigeria, and they are no longer, answerable to any government, any Nigerian government officials. I want to also announce to Biafra people that we have recorded over 50 million votes today. Over 50 million votes in the Biafra self-referendum. Can you beat that? Over 50 million votes. And I want you to understand that these 50 million people has given us their mandate. They have signed and say, fight for us. We have given you the mandate. Fight for us. That's exactly what it means. And for that, we are going to test run the lockdown of the Nigeria system within Biafra land. What I'm saying, take it very seriously. I said enforcement is against Nigeria terrorist army, against Nigeria terrorist state, against Nigeria terrorist air force, custom, anybody wearing uniform and carrying gun under Nigeria. You are a terrorist in our land. And this 1 month, we will use it to test you for what is to come on the 2nd of December. I have no other speech to give. Call this thing and let it go far. Biafra has come. We will fight our way out. And this fight is in accordance with how we want it, when we want it, and how we are going to want it. It's not about Nigeria dictating how we fight it, like they did in 1967 and 1970. We will never go into conventional war with Nigeria. We have designed a way to defeat them. And it is guerrilla warfare, and of course, they know what it means. We will never, ever allow the Nigerian state to continue to kill our women and children like I have done in the past. So my brothers and sisters, fellow citizens of Biafra, we have come to defend our land, our life. We are fighting for survival. It is a fight to finish. And I want you to understand that the fallen kingdom has risen. Thank you. Power to the Biafra Liberation Army. Power to the Biafra Defense Forces. Airborne to all the fighters. The time has come. We will test Nigeria. And the world will know what they have been hiding for the past 2 years. It will be open.
Freedom is freedom. Freedom is freedom. Freedom is coming. Oh yes, I know. Freedom is coming. Freedom is coming. Freedom is coming. Oh yes, I know. Oh yes, I.
First must rise up. The armed forces are not neutral. They collude. They collude. They collude with the armed bandits. They kill people, kill Nigerians. They facilitate their movements. They cover them. If you are depending on the armed forces to stop the killings, you will all die one by one.
They will be Biafran people. I salute all of you. And I bring you warm greetings from my end. You see, it has become evident that without the resistance of the Biafran government, the Zoo terrorists would have overrun Biafraland within days. It has also become evident that the resistive nature of the Biafran government, under the leadership of this very Prime Minister, has thwarted the plans of the Fulani terrorist invasion of Biafraland in the guise of bringing refugees or internally displaced people from the north. The idea was to make sure that they invade Biafraland in the name of rehabilitation of people. And these people will, in the night, wake up and go through all our communities and start burning our women, babies, and children to death. So by the time you now wake up in the morning, you will be packing dead bodies of your women and children. Then the governors of the East and the ministers and senators will be enjoying themselves with their families and friends in Abuja, and some of them will soon over to America, UK, Switzerland, Europe, and all parts of the world, enjoying themselves. That is why this has come to limelight. How many of you can see what is on the screen? Let me read for you what these terrorist plans, which you also, the Prime Minister, resist. They said they were bringing internally displaced persons as refugees to Biafraland because they claimed the terrorists which they themselves created had consumed their people and has destroyed them to this very day. And they decided to devise a means of bringing these terrorists to Biafraland so that these terrorists will come and kill and maim and destroy the livelihood of Biafrans so that they themselves can sustain and be strong. Today, they are telling you that Fulani terrorists will take over northern Nigeria if they do not send these terrorists down to Biafra land. They are crying out because Biafra government have resisted this their intended invasion plans of Biafra land. That is the message, and that is the result card that you get from the Biafran government standing her ground on resisting the terrorists that were to be deployed to Biafra land, which were to come and kill Biafrans in broad daylight. So the question should be, why are they saying they are afraid? They are afraid because the existential terrorists which they had created to keep, to use for the invasion, has been thwarted in the Biafran territory by the Biafran government. In other part of the one Nigerian contraption, it has not been thwarted because all of them are still in that some consciousness that everything is okay. I know. So in other part of one Nigeria, they have remained unprovoked. And because they have remained unprovoked, that is why you can see them crying left, right, center. Biafrans used to cry like that before until Mazen Namdekano said, enough is enough, we need to have ESN to curtail these menace of these terrorists. And then they kidnapped Mazen Namdekano because he brought about ESN to protect and to defend our mothers, women, and children from being kidnapped and cut to pieces. And there come the Prime Minister after they had kidnapped Mazen Namdekano. And he did not just come up with something superior to ESN. He came up with a government of Biafra. He inaugurated a government. He formed all the arms of the government. And the military wing of that government is the Biafra Defense Forces, where you have the Biafra Liberation Army, the Air Force, the Navy, and all arms of military wing that are available, fighting to make sure they destroy the terrorists that will be coming. So, without the existence of this Biafran government, the plans of the Fulani terrorists would have come to be. The plans had been thwarted by the Biafran government because the plans and the aims and objective was to deploy these terrorists to Biafra land and then turn Biafra land into a bleeding field. Deploy these terrorists to Biafra land and then turn it to where they dance, Ukere dance. Deploy these terrorists to Biafra land. Remember that they tried by doing Ruga. Biafra government resisted. And then they now decided to talk about grazing routes. Biafra government destroyed them. They now decided to be using the terrorist enablers that we have as governors and ministers and senators. Biafra government makes sure they evaluated the existence of these representatives that one Nigeria has in Biafra land. Biafra government has as well made efforts for everyone to see the supremacy of Biafran government. And that is why the Biafran people has given the Biafran government over 50 million votes on the Biafran referendum to say, go ahead, fight for us, defend us, speak for us. You are our only legitimate government that we have because you can stand in for us. The reason why you see that one Nigerian terrorist, northern existence, are crying today that their terrorists which they themselves created will take over the northern part, it's not just a message. It has many implications. Remember that Nigeria template and mandate has ever been about the northern agenda, the northern agenda. It has never been about you, the southern inhabitants. It has ever been about the northern agenda. So for them to tell you that these terrorists they themselves created will conquer this Nigeria in coming months or coming years is something you should understand that is about to happen now and has already started happening. But what they are crying out here for you to understand unequivocally is that the plan that they just did of deploying these terrorists to Biafra land in the name of rehabilitation camp and refugee camp has been thwarted by the Biafran government. That is why you hear this cry coming out, because they were to deploy these terrorists to Biafra land to go and start the extermination of Biafran people. And the Biafran government has come out to destroy their plans. Listen very well to what they are crying and writing. They say the Arewa Consultative Forum has expressed fear that the insurgency which they themselves had created have gone out of control in the northern Nigeria to the extent that it may threaten the existence of the entire region in the next 5 years. Did they say the existence of Nigeria? No, they said the existence of the northern region. So that means Nigeria is all about northern agenda. Nigeria is all about northern region. Nigeria is not about you that is in the southern region. So for all of you that are forcing yourself on Nigeria, you are wasting your time and you're doing yourself more harm than good. Because when the Nigerian government or northern terrorist government are talking, they are not talking in the plight of you that is claiming to be a Nigerian. They are talking only in favor of the northern agenda. They said the chairman of the board of trustees of this group, Alhaji Bashir Muhammad Talatu, has expressed the forum's concern over the current insecurity in the north and warned that banditry and general insecurity have posed serious threat to the survival of the northern region. The terrorists which they themselves created is here to consume them. They said the Borno state capital, during a visit to offer condolences and solidarity to the people of the state following the recent devastating flood disaster, this man described that the northern region has been an extremely dire situation, facing multiple crises, including insurgency. Manu! In the northeast, banditry in the northwest, the various other social vices and challenges in the central north. Everything is about north. Are you listening? But you will see some foolish senators that claim to be from Biafraland, that claim to be from Yorubas. When they want to talk, they are not talking in favor of their own identity. They are claiming and trying to be a good guy by talking and calling the entire Nigeria and calling the entire North and calling the entire Yorubas and calling the entire southern region. But Fulani terrorists, the northern criminals and their aiders, they are talking and they are making specifications to where? To only the northern region, because their interest is to protect the north, protect everything that they have in the north, because Nigeria is all about the north. They say their predicament is worsened by insurgency and banditry, which have even been impossible for our people to go to their farms. The terrorists you yourself created has come to consume you and to take you over. And you now want to come and push these terrorists to come down to Biafra land, to come and slaughter Biafrans, so that you use them as a dicing meat for your soup. No, it cannot happen. You cannot use the Biafran blood to spice your soup, to spice your ethnic bigotry, to spice your agenda of jihad and invasion and the takeover of one Nigeria, the conquest of Utmandanfodo that has been there for long, which you guys want to come and restore in this our own time. It is not Biafra, it is not Biafran people that you will use to sugarcoat the plans that you have made. They say many farmers can no longer access their farmland, and we no longer produce enough food to feed ourselves. They say millions of children are out of school, and social ills such as Almajiri are begging have become rampant. In Nigeria, we have grown up to come and see Almajiris. Almajiris had existed even before I was born. So the Almajiris is not Almajiris in the real sense. The Almajiris are the foot soldiers of jihad. The Almajiris are the foot soldiers of Utmandanfodio. The Almajiris are the foot soldiers of the conquerors, of the invasion that they had planned. That is what the Almajiris is all about. So when you see these children of Almajiris, they are working there as informants. Their work is to prepare and wait for the signal. When they are given signal, they will strike, they will carry bomb vest on their body and enter a particular church or school, and it will be detonated and everybody there will buy. Those are the works of those children that you see that they call Almajiris. They have all made up their mind for their parent to use them, and their parent can use them anything as a suicide bomber at any place. So they are telling you today that they consider all these issues together and see that the northern region is in a perilous state. Yes, the northern region has to be in a perilous state because they had created a monster and the monster has come to consume them, but we will not allow them to push these their terrorist remnants into Biafraland in the guise of what? Rehabilitation or refugee camp, come and use them to exploit and destroy Biafraland. He warned that if immediate action is not taken, that the situation could worsen, further threatening the region's existence. He said 10 years ago there were bandits in the northwest. Today, however, nearly every state in the region is grappling with banditry and terrorism. He said, we fear that if this trend continues unchecked, the situation could spiral out of control in the next 5 years, endangering our lives.
Must rise up. The armed forces are not neutral. They collude. They collude. They collude with the armed bandits. They kill people, kill Nigerians. They facilitate their movements. They cover them. If you are depending on the armed forces to stop the killings, you will all die one by one.
The message is very clear. If you are waiting for the zoo Nigerian terrorist government to stop the killings in the north, to stop the killings in one Nigeria, you will all die one by one. This man emphasized that the fear of the continuous unchecked terrorist attack in the north is endangering the lives of the northerners, not the lives of Nigerians, not the lives of the Yoruba people, not the lives of the Igbo people. They are talking specifically for the north, the northern agenda. For those of you that claim to be Nigerians, the northerners don't take you as Nigerians. The northerners takes you as Biafrans and takes you as the Yoruba or Duduwa nation or citizens. So as you are fooling yourself that you are a Nigerian, you are actually making your freedom difficult for yourself. Because if you had come to the understanding and the agreement that you are a Biafran and Oduduwa, you would have been fighting in a straight course, which has been defined, just like the Biafran government have defined the roadmap to Biafra, and everyone can now follow it. So if you're still deceiving yourself, aligning with one Nigeria and calling yourself a Nigerian, you are wasting your time. What the Biafran government is making sure to do is that survival has become very imperative for us. Self-preservation and self-determination, self-defense has become very, very paramount to us, and we will not allow our women and children to be taken over by the terrorists. The United States of Biafra referendum voting is still ongoing. It will be on till the convention in Helsinki, in Lahti, Finland of 2024 November. And we are calling on all Biafrans who have not keyed into their registration to get down to Finland to do so. The slot is still open and will soon be over. Let me continue to read what the terrorists are crying about. Understand that they are crying because their plan of pushing these terrorists to Biafraland in the name of refugees to now come and rampage Biafraland and then kill and maim and take over and destroy has been thwarted and destroyed by the Biafran government. Their aim was to put the Biafran region as a target, as the red spot for them to come and destroy us. But Biafran government saw it before now and destroyed their plans. That is why when you look at this thing here, when you look at this, you see that Shetima, the terrorist vice president of Nigeria, rejects any military solution to crush the terrorists in the north. And this is the same military solution which these same criminals are now shouting and telling you, oh, these they are terrorists that they have groomed themselves will take over the north and will become the legitimate government of the north in few months. Do you understand the point? So when you juxtapose these two things here, when you compare and contrast, when you look at the two things on the screen, you will understand the plan of the terrorists of one Nigeria, what they had wanted to turn Biafraland into, and how the resistance forces of the Biafran government through the military wing has burned them. It has burned them like iron that you put inside the burning furnace. You burn it to the melting point, and then at the melting point, it becomes possible to disfigure the shape and to give it a new shape. The resistance force of the Biafran government has been able to make sure that the plan of the invasion of Biafra land by the Fulani terrorists, which they themselves groom in the north, has thwarted their plans of taking over Biafra land in whatever disguise that they had planned, because they came in different forms and many ways.
Simon Ekpa is looking like a bigger threat than what IPOB represents. And when I was reading about IPOB, I'm like, these people should realize that Simon Ekpa is asking the people to celebrate Biafra heroes from 29 to the 31st. IPOB only asks for one day. That's May 30, which is the day that over the years they have celebrated the Biafran heroes. But Simon Ekpa is saying no. It has to be from the 29th to the 31st. That is a threat on its own that we have to deal with. The map
himself obeys the sit at home on Monday, and then the civil servants that work in government house obey the sit at home, and government shut down on Mondays. It means the real governor of Southeast is Simon Ekpa, ruling the Southeast from Finland.
First must rise up. The armed forces are not neutral. They collude. They collude. They collude bandits. They kill people, kill Nigerians. They facilitate their movements. They cover them. If you are depending on the armed forces to stop the killings, you will all die one by one.
I believe you don't want to die one by one, because if you want to die one by one, you will be waiting on one Nigeria to come to your aid. The same person that dig graves to bury you and push you inside cannot be the same person to come to your aid to now put a rope or ladder for you to climb up and say, I want to save you. No. The sole aim of digging the pit and pushing you inside, pouring sand on you, was to make sure the person unalive you. So tell me, what kind of miracle will now happen that the same person will now be the one to come to rescue you out of the same pit? So we want you to understand this, and to understand this very good, that the terrorists of one Nigeria had planned so much to take over Biafra land, and then the terrorists which they themselves had created, they don't want these terrorists to be destroyed. They don't want the terrorists to be destroyed. Rather, they reinforce these terrorists and pay them so much money on daily basis, and they are bringing them into Biafra land to come and kill Biafrans. When they planned the very last one of bringing them into Biafra land to destroy and to kill Biafran people, in the guise and in the name of rehabilitation center, Biafran government stopped them. Biafran government stopped them. That is why those facilities were all brought down. We understand, and we have it on record, that they have more other facilities that they are planning to bring up to come and harbor the terrorists of one Nigeria, to groom them, to make them to multiply, so that the invasion plan of the terrorists can take place in Biafra land. And Biafran government, through the office of the Prime Minister, had issued a memo to that we will do nothing than to do what? To resist them and to stop them. We will stop them with everything that we have. And every construction or building of any kind of project that is carried out by one Nigeria in the name of building something to bring this up or to renovate this or to do that in Biafra land is banned. It is not allowed, because everything you want to build now, you want to come and harbor the terrorists, give them a safe haven, give them a comfortable zone for them to come out and to hack our people to death. It will not happen, and we will not accept it to happen. That is why you see that the terrorists are not comfortable when you are talking about crushing the terrorists or killing the terrorists which they created in the north. So now, I want to ask you, if they themselves created the terrorists in the north, why are they coming to deceive themselves today and deceive some of you that do not understand what the Biafran government is actually fighting against? Why do they come out today to cry and to tell you that the terrorists which they themselves created and they love and protect and keep and sustain and don't want them to be destroyed, they are coming out to cry and deceive you that these terrorists will take over the north? What do you understand from there? If these are the same terrorists that they refuse to crush, and they say they don't want these terrorists to be crushed in any way, how come it is the same terrorists that they say, oh, we'll take over their lands? So are you guys understanding this, the narrative now? These people created these terrorists, kept these terrorists, and they are using these terrorists to kill people. These terrorists will enter your lands, destroy your communities, and do all evil. And when you try to crush them, they say the vice president of Nigeria, even the president of Nigeria, former before, and the present one today say, do not crush the terrorists. do not touch the terrorists. Instead, rehabilitate the terrorists, bring them back into the army, the Air Force, the Navy, the police, and the federal government, and every institution that we have, so that they will become part and parcel of the system and inherit the system, and then can be able to take over the system at any time. So do you get the point now? The same people who created the terrorists are today coming to deceive you with crocodile tears that the terrorists which they themselves created and they don't want to destroy is going to take over the North today. So you guys should all wake up and understand what is happening here. We want you all Biafrans to understand, again, that this is not about the North. It's not about the North being taken over. It is a cry of the resistance of the Biafran government against their invasion plan of Biafra land. The plan has been there. They have used all the stooges that we have in Biafra land to make sure it works for them. They have used Iwanyang. They have used the former president of Ohanese. They have used all the governors and senators and ministers. They have used everything that is working against Biafra, that is serving the interests of one Nigeria in Biafra land. They have even used churches. They have even used market. They have even used road. They have even used everything you could ever think of. They have used against the Biafran people to see that they will bring it down. Is it not the Nigerian army that were dancing in the street of Biafra, telling you that you should reject Biafra and then embrace the Nigerian terrorist government? So what are we not saying? We want you to understand something. If the same people that say, do not crush the terrorists, because the terrorists we have here are the soldiers of the caliphate. They are the soldiers of the North. They are the soldiers of the federal government. Their actions and their acts are being supported and protected by the federal government. When these terrorists invade communities, who protect them and who shield them? Who takes them from point A to point Z? That is why you should never ignore what Theophilus T.Y. Danjuma said. Listen to him.
First must rise up. The armed forces are not neutral. They collude. They collude. They collude with the armed bandits. They kill people, kill Nigerians. They facilitate their movements. They cover them. If you are depending on the armed forces to stop the killings, you will all die one by one.
This is the message you get if you know what is happening. And if you are ready now to stand your ground, to fight for your freedom, you will pick up arms, identify yourself with your emerging government of your nations, and then align and be ready to fight back. But when T.Y. Danjuma said this, nobody took his counsel. Nobody took his counsel. It's only Mazi Nnamdi Kanu that took his counsel. And that was when he formed the ESN. Today, the Biafran government is here with the Biafra Liberation Army. And we are ready to crush these people because what they have come to do is to protect these same terrorists and keep them for the Islamic jihadist invasion conquest agenda, and then come back to now deceive you that these same terrorists which they say you should not crush is going to take over the North. Now, do you now understand the game that is being played here? That is why we urge all Biafrans in the media to understand how to interpret this narrative of what the zoo terrorist government have come up with. Understanding very well that the terrorists and the banditry, which they call it in the North, is protected and sustained by the federal government of Nigeria. So whenever you now see them coming to talk from the two sides of their mouth, you should understand from which direction they are going and coming from. They did not come out before to cry and say this. Not until their recent plan of sending the terrorists to come and harbor in Biafra land and to wake up one day and start killing all Biafrans, which the Biafran Prime Minister resisted their plans and destroyed those intended terrorist camps. They now come out to come and tell you that the terrorists which they themselves created in the far north is going to take over the north. If the terrorists which you people created is to take over the north, what is our problem there? You see, it shouldn't have been our problem. But for the fact that the Biafran government has resisted their plan of transferring these terrorists to Biafra land, it has now become a national issue for them to come out to come and shout and say, oh, the terrorists we have in the north is about to take over the north. So that some of you will come out and say, oh, we are sympathetic, we are empathetic, let us have sympathy. And then absorb the people of the north, which are in the hands of the terrorists, and then keep them in your lands. The Yorubas have a bigger landmass. The north have a bigger landmass that they can keep all the refugees and the internally displaced persons that they want to bring, not in Biafra land. We don't want them in Biafra land. Take them to the other side and keep them and take care of them. So because we resisted these plans, the same terrorists and their remnants, which your federal government of Nigeria say, do not crush them, do not touch them, leave them because they are our soldiers of the caliphate. These are the same terrorists which you wanted to bring to Biafra land. And then the Prime Minister says, no, it cannot happen. Because of that, you people are now coming out today to come and cry and say, oh, the terrorists in the north is about to take over the north. We know the plans. Let the terrorists take over the north. Because the northern agenda is for northern agenda. It has nothing to benefit the Biafran people from the east. It has nothing to benefit the Biafran people from the south. So what is our business with the northern terrorists who take over the north? Who raised the northern terrorists? Who groomed them? Who sponsors them? Who gives them money? Who gives them contract? Who makes them stronger on a daily basis? You guys did not just make them stronger to stand for nothing. You guys made them stronger to stand so that you can use them as foot soldiers to come and crush the Biafran people, to come and kill the Biafran people. That is why when you look at this, you can hear the vice president say, there is no crushing of the terrorists in the far north. Allow the terrorists to have a comfortable zone where they go about, kill, rampage, desolate, burn, destroy, rape, cut off heads of babies, women, and children in the far north because their only work and objective is just to fight for the Ottoman and Fodio conquest and their legacy. That is what the terrorists you have in the north, which you have grown for years, is all about. And the federal government of Nigeria are super comfortable with the way these terrorists have been stationed, with the way they have been working, with the way they are taking charge, with the way they are controlling everything and rampaging communities. The federal government of Nigeria are super okay about it. They are very much okay. So we want the Biafran people to understand something. Now, with this nonsense here that has come out on the screen and on the media, it is as a result of the resistance of the Biafran government, resisting the terrorists that were coming into Biafra land to come and kill the Biafran people. This is the result of the resistance force of the Biafran government. You know, during the 67 genocidal war to 70s against the Biafran people, A lot and a lot and a lot happened. A lot and a lot and a lot happened. This was one of it that happened. If you did not see it, this was one of it that happened. They created new states inside the middle of the war so that with this, they can use it as a weapon of warfare. They can use it as a weakening tool against the Biafran people. Today, they have attempted this and they have tried this again. And the Biafran government has also resisted them. And what they are doing is not making any effort, is not gaining any momentum, because everything about one Nigeria must come in a haphazard way. It must come in a zigzag way. They have plans, they have ways and manners of doing it. So if you're not seeing the handwriting on the wall, wake up now.
First must rise up. The armed forces are not neutral. They collude. They collude. They collude with the armed bandits. They kill people, kill Nigerians. They facilitate their movements. They cover them. If you are depending on the armed forces to stop the killings, you will all die one by one. First must rise up. The armed forces are not neutral. They collude. They collude. They collude with the armed bandits. They kill people, kill Nigerians. They facilitate their movements. They cover them. If you are depending on the armed forces to stop the killings, you will all die one by one.
Are you seeing the reality on ground, or you are still on the fence? Hey, if you're not seeing the reality on ground, please, we want you to wake up and come down to the reality on ground. Because the terrorists are ready to do the undo. And for some of you that are still there laughing and taking everything for granted, I wonder what would have happened to your women and children. I wonder what would have happened to your lives, your families that you have back home, everyone that you call your own. I wonder what would have happened to them without the existence of the Prime Minister. So you got to wake up.
First must rise up. The armed forces are not neutral. They collude. They collude. They collude with the armed bandits. They kill people, kill Nigerians. They facilitate their movements. They cover them. If you are depending on the armed forces to stop the killings, you will all die one by one.
The more they attack me, the stronger I become. Because it is like you are pouring fuel in the strength that is in me. So bring it on. But I'm telling you today that we have been able to defeat them. We have Chikota Hantani Nono and defeated them. What we have done to Nigeria and their agent in Biafra struggle is that we gathered them together. This particular sit at home, I told you people, will be the beginning of the liberation of Biafra. You see, the actions, the activities of Biafrans in this sit at home have gathered all the sabos together, all the saboteur together, and we defeated them. Bam! It is mysterious. How many of you will ever believe in this life that everybody will gang up against Biafra?
Himself obeys the sit at home on Monday, and then the civil servants that work in government house obey the sit at home, and government shut down on Mondays. It means the real governor of Southeast is Simon Ekpa, ruling the Southeast from Finland.
If Simon Ekpa is the one ruling the Southeast from Finland, it is a very good gesture for the Biafran people, because with him, Biafrans have been safe. With him, Biafran babies, women, and children have not been butchered. If Simon Ekpa is the one ruling Biafra land from Finland, as the Senate President of Nigeria said, is it not better where you have a Vice President of Nigeria now ruling the terrorists from the north? The Vice President of Nigeria is ruling the terrorists from the north and is giving an embargo that nobody should crush the terrorists in the north. They should leave the terrorists for them, because the terrorists is their foot soldiers. They have to use it to destroy other people. And you know what this Northern Arewa nonsense forum are writing? They said that the 19 northern states and their governors and representatives, that they will go to the federal government to go and let them know that these terrorists, which they themselves created, which they have harbored for the invasion of Biafraland, which they have gathered for the conquest agenda of Uthman Danfodio legacy to come to be, that these their terrorists have turned out to consume their livelihood, that they are going to go and see the president. This is coming after the Prime Minister of Biafra said, "These your terrorists cannot be calmed in Biafra land. The children and the women of these your acclaimed terrorists, which you claim you want to bring them for rehabilitation in Biafra land, cannot stand." If we did not have this Prime Minister, as the Senate President of Nigeria said, that this Prime Minister is the real governor of Biafra, ruling and leading all the way from Finland. If we did not have this Prime Minister, what would have happened to our women and children? The cry that you hear these people now telling you that the terrorists which the federal government created and kept for the conquest agenda is consuming their women and babies and children on a daily basis, and that they are tired now, that they want these terrorists to be shifted to another place, which the shifting of these terrorists were to come to Biafra land, and then Biafran government resisted. If there had not been a Biafran government, if there had not been a Prime Minister of Biafra to resist this terrorist invasion plan, what would have been the fate of the Biafran women and children today? What would have been the fate of our babies? I want you to understand something and to hear the message that these people are passing. They said that this existence of these terrorists in the far north had been in existence and implemented for 15 years now. Now, do you understand what it means that it has been in existence for 15 years now? It means that for the past 15 years, that this terrorist agenda, this Uthman Darfodio agenda, this invasion and the takeover of the entire people in one Nigeria and to make them to forcefully become their part of the jihadist terrorist conclave, that the plan of this conquest had been on for the past 15 years. They had deployed and raised this terrorist army of the north for the past 15 years. They have been existing. For the past 15 years, they have been ravaging. For the past 15 years, they have been traumatizing. For the past 15 years, they have been killing babies, killing women and children, taking over and planning the conquest of everyone. For 15 years now, 15 good years now. If you calculate 15 years now, let me see. We are in 2024, right? If you minus 15, so that means these people started this thing since 2009. Since 2009, that is what their message means from this publication. For some of you that have not read this publication here, under this publication, it is embedded here that the existence of these terrorists in the north has been around for the past 15 years. For the past 15 years. So, meaning that for the past 15 years, the conquest agenda of taking over Nigeria and Islamizing everyone that is speaking another religion and language aside from the terrorist invasion language has been on since 2009. And their Oga Patapata here is telling you that you can never crush these terrorists for us because we have raised them for over 15 years. That they have a legacy which they have to come and restore. So, do you guys now understand the reason why you have this prime minister that has come? Prime minister has come to end the legacy of Uthman Darfodio conquest agenda, which is aimed at doing what? At Islamizing forcefully all of you in one Nigeria. What this conquest agenda of these people is all about is nothing different from the forceful amalgamation of 1914 of Lord Lugard, where he forcefully brought about everybody in their different regions and then called them Nigeria, forced them all together because of the interests of Britain. So this is the same forceful amalgamation and a takeover conquest in another way, which Britain did. And this time, Britain don't want to be the one to lead this one. Britain want to use one part of the people in Nigeria that have claimed to exist to become the new internal colonialist in Africa. New internal colonialist. The Fulani terrorists wants to become the new internal colonialist of Nigeria. And the people of the Nigeria who claims that they are Nigerians, they are very comfortable about having Fulani terrorists as their new internal colonialist of Nigeria in 2024. Make no mistake when you now believe this publication to be that it is in 5 years. No. What they are saying and telling you is that these terrorists and these foot soldiers that they had created has existed for the past 15 years. And if they come to tell you now that they will take over and take charge of Nigeria in 5 years, it means they are already planning the takeover now. Yes, that is what it means, because their past 15 years, they did not just come to play. That is why if you calculate the people this terrorist sect have killed, dismembered, disjointed their future, and destroyed their lives and aspirations and dreams in Nigeria, the numbers are more than 500,000. The numbers are more than millions. Do you know what it means for terrorists to kill the indigenous people in their lands, take over the lands, take control of the lands, then occupy the lands? In Borno State, over 8 local governments are in the control of the terrorists. In Niger State, the same thing. In Sokoto, the same thing. The terrorists are in charge of the northern states. Over the 19 northern states of one Nigeria, there is no state that the terrorists are not in charge and in control, and they don't have a base. So it is a terrorist-dominated plan, and so that is why you will see that the federal government are hell-bent on supporting and sustaining their group, because it is a terrorist Fulani conglomerate that has come to restore the Uthman and Fodio conquest agenda, that legacy. It is only Biafra through which everyone can be safe in Nigeria. It is only through Biafra that we have made triumphant amongst our foes in Nigeria. We have been made to be distinguished amongst our folks in Nigeria. Yes, through Biafran government, through this prime minister. When you did not see this prime minister, when you did not see Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, we were everly slaves to one Nigeria. Until the reignition of Biafra through Wazirike, through Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, after the genocidal war, and today now, you have the prime minister coming to do the finishing work. We are calling on all Biafrans that you have a duty and you have a call. And what is that all about? For you to rise up and come and support the Biafran government. The Biafran government needs your support, because the cry of the terrorist one Nigeria is everywhere. So rise up, give all your support. Tomorrow is our mega fundraising, and we are calling on everyone. We are calling on everyone to part and parcel of the fundraising of tomorrow. And every time, we need you all. We need you all to answer your father's names. Without Biafra, we are all doomed. You see, before you saw the terrorist one Nigeria come out with this publication, it is as a result of the resistance power of the Biafran government. And that is why you need to listen to this, that the enemies of Biafra will come back crying after you have given them bomber to bomber.
The war aim of Biafra is purely to prevent ourselves being slaughtered, nothing more. We haven't got the sophisticated war aim of Nigeria to conquer, to overrun, to do something or the other. For us, merely to prevent. And if anybody is going to judge our success and failure in this war, it will have to depend on how much we have prevented the enemy from killing us. The war aim of Biafra is purely to prevent ourselves being slaughtered, nothing more. We have.
The war aim of Biafra is to prevent the enemies, the terrorists, from slaughtering us. That means self-defense, survival. It is because of the resistance of the Biafran government unleashing the Biafra Liberation Army, the Biafra Defense Forces, to go after these terrorists that were stationed to come into Biafra land in the name of IDP camps, so that they will use the opportunity to kill our women and children. The war aim, the aim of the Biafran Liberation Army, the aim of the Biafran government resisting these terrorists is what has made them to now come out crying like this, because the message they came to deliver was destroyed. The plan that they came to carry out was destroyed by the Biafran government. So that is why our general tells you that the war aim of Biafra is to see that we prevent the terrorists from killing our women and children. That is for our survival, for us to defend ourselves, meaning that we are not fighting for Biafra to lord it on anybody. We are fighting for Biafra to preserve our lives. We are fighting for Biafra to sustain our existence, to restore our dignity and integrity, to see a Biafra where our children are not slaughtered on a daily basis. These people are crying because the Biafran government had resisted them on their attempt to come and kill the Biafran people in the guise of bringing IDP camps to Biafraland.
We haven't got the sophisticated war aim of Nigeria to conquer, to overrun, to do something or the other. For us, merely to prevent.
He said it was merely to prevent. That they never had the inside strategy of what the Nigerian terrorists were coming to do. They never had the pre-knowledge of what they were coming to do and how they were going to invade us or to slaughter us, because Ojukwu never even sit down to plan of fighting a war. Remember that this is Ojukwu that took these people to Aburi for there to be peace. And in Aburi, they agreed that there is peace and they were to come back to implement the peace. On getting to Nigeria, on the way, they got a call from Britain telling them, you don't have to sign any peace deal or implement. This is something that they had signed in Aburi. And they said, even if as they assign it, don't come back to implement what you had signed. So Ojukwu here is telling you, we did not preempt the strategies or how one Nigeria wants to come and fight us or to start a war with us. But what we must do is to make sure that we have to prevent whatever they have preempt. We have to prevent whatever that they are planning, even as we don't know what they are planning and how far and when they want to come and invade us or to crush us or to kill our women and children. But we have to do what? Prevent. The plan ahead of preventing. Preventive measures were put in place. And today, the preventive measure you can see, one of it is what the Prime Minister has done here. By preventing the terrorists from turning Biafraland in Imo State to IDP camp where they will bring terrorists to harbor in those places. And from there, the terrorists will now wake up at night to surround our communities and slaughter our women and children at impulse. If we narrate and tell you how the Biafran soldiers were slaughtered when Ironsi enacted the reunification decree in 1967. Ironsi wanted the reunification decree to be in a way that everybody will come back again and remain as one Nigeria after the coup of January 15, 1966. So he created a way of bringing everybody together again. He wanted to please the Fulanis, the Northerners. But when these Northerners wanted to slaughter and to revenge of a coup, mind you, there had been a preempted and a planned coup from the Northern Fulanis that were supposed to have taken place before the January 15 coup of Kaduna and Zoku and the rest two of them. Three major people. Tomorrow they will tell you it was Igbo coup. But the three major people in the coup were people in the entirety of Nigeria, mixed up. But they nicknamed it Igbo coup. There had been a coup that was already planned by the Northern terrorists to be carried out before the January 15. It was because the January 15 coup now were aware of that one, and that coup that was to come was a coup that was to destroy everybody, not a coup that is to restore the integrity of the people. No, it was the one that was targeted as the conquest of the Uthman and Fodio plan of the takeover, which their own is aimed at slaughter everybody and then implements jihad. Do you understand the point? So, what the Prime Minister have done is to prevent the terrorists from coming to slaughter our women and children, which is nothing different from what Ojukwu did. You see that there is this existential enemy and threat that has existed against the Biafran people from time immemorial, from Ojukwu's time, and then coming down to our own time, the same enemies, the same threats, the same terrorists are still the same people arising against the Biafran people again in our own time. So listen to the other thing that our general said.
And if anybody is going to judge our success and failure in this war, it will have to depend on how much we have prevented the enemy from killing us.
Do you get the point? For those of you that want to judge the Biafran people, or to come and scale, or to weigh how far we have won this war, or to destroy the Nigerian terrorists, or how far we are getting victory and success, you have to come and then weigh how far we have been able to prevent and to distort the terrorist plans of coming to kill our women and children in Biafraland. If you want to know the firepower and the superiority and the stand of this Biafran government, the Biafra Liberation Army, go and check how far this Biafran government has prevented the Nigerian terrorists, their government, from invading our lands, from killing our women and children on a daily basis. Wait, let me show you something. Let me bring something to the screen. So that as you are looking for a way of juxtaposing or giving us a report of this is one example from what I just said. If you want to know, if anybody wants to ask us or to give us a result card of how far we are doing in preventing or destroying the terrorists of one Nigeria, go and ask the people here from the Yoruba extract. The people from the Yoruba extract are telling you that over 29,000 people of their own have been slaughtered by these terrorists. Now, do you see where they write that over 29,000 of Biafrans have been slaughtered by the Fulani terrorists? Do you see it? This is how far the Biafran government should be measured. The presence of the Biafran government has done what? Has stopped this kind of thing from happening in Biafra land. Your money, your tithe and offering has made this possible. Yes. Then you will see from the far north that over 100,000 people were slaughtered. When you look at here now, you see something else. This is the second quarter of the concocted reports of abductions and terrorist attacks and fatalities in Nigeria. When you check this bar chart, you see that Biafralands, Biafra region has been the safest place. This is all because of what? The existence of the Biafra government. The existence of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the existence of the Prime Minister, the existence of you and I, with all the money that you have been donating to the Biafran fundraising and everything that has to do with money. We have been able to make Biafra land to be the safest place. So if anyone is judging us or trying to ask silly questions of what have we done differently or how are we doing it, tell them to go and rate us from how far we have been able to prevent the terrorists from killing our women and children and cutting off heads. Abductions and terrorist takeover is ongoing in the Far North on a daily basis. You will see numbers and videos of babies, women and children slaughtered and cut to pieces on a daily basis from the Far North. You will see in Benue, you see in Sokoto, you see in Borno, over 450 were butchered in broad daylight. And in all this that happens, you don't see this befalling the Biafran people. So the thing is that they come to the Biafran people, they come to Biafra land to do same, but the Biafran government will repel them and kill them and destroy them through the arms wing of Biafra government. These are some of the things you need to know. This here is in the Far North. This here is not in Biafra land. The video you are going to watch now is in the Far North, not in Biafra land. So this is to show you how far and the stronghold and the power of the Biafran government, what they have been able to do, what they will continue to do, and what they can do more. With all your funds, we can acquire more ammunitions. We can acquire more RPG. We can acquire more guns and bullets. We can acquire more defensive mechanism to protect our women and children so that the terrorists would not come and be glorifying themselves in our lands. We want them to always come out and cry like this, just like this. This is how we want them to always come out to cry. After the Prime Minister of Biafra may have destroyed them, this is how we want them to be coming out to cry. Without the existence of the Prime Minister of Biafra, Biafran people would have seen pains upon pains. They would have seen destruction of lives and properties upon and upon. The Northerners are crying and longing to have someone as the Prime Minister. While some of you Efulefu that have been bought off from the Biafran region do not know the importance of this Prime Minister and what the Biafran government are doing. One Nigeria needs a strong hand. They need iron hand, yes. If you don't give one Nigeria iron hand, you will remain a slave to one Nigeria forever. That is why T.Y. Danjuma said, everybody must rise up because the armed forces are not neutral. They collude. Yes, they collude with the armed bandits, with the terrorists, which they now brand bandits. They collude with the terrorists and they kill people.
Every one of us must rise up. The armed forces are not neutral. They collude. They collude. They collude with the armed bandits. The Nigerian people kill Nigerians. They facilitate their movements. They cover them. If you are depending on the armed forces to stop the killings, you will all die one by one.
The message is very clear that if you are depending on the armed forces of Nigeria to stop the killing and the massacre and the genocide, you will all die one by one. So, when the Biafran Prime Minister warns against IDP terrorist camps in Biafra land, it is a very good move that is to prevent the killings of our women and children and our existence. Because for them to bring anything to Biafra land, it is not anything that will benefit you. Yes, because these are the same terrorists that are ravaging the far north, which your vice president, who is the leader of the terrorists, says they should never crush these terrorists, and they wanted to deploy them to Biafra land. But that's
community in distress. Their loved ones have been killed by terrorists. Human bodies litter the streets, some with deep machete cuts, and many burnt beyond recognition. It's not a pleasant sight to behold. The smell of burnt humans fills the air, and graves are being dug as the living bury their dead. According to eyewitnesses, the terrorists stormed Runji village in their numbers, shooting sporadically and setting houses ablaze with occupants in them. Those who were lucky to escape say the rampaging gunmen operated for over an hour, adding that military intervention came late.
Kill our people, kill our husband. Don't put fire anywhere. We don't know where they come from. They come kill our children with my uncle, father, my sister yesterday.
About 10:30 yesterday night, after a successful wedding of our illustrious son, the Fulani just occurred to the village and attacked us. And many souls were killed. About 30 corpses are laying down. Many are injured, are in the hospitals. And we are pleading on the solidarity of the government to come and rescue us. We knew what is happening in this land. We are living peacefully with these Fulanis. And now we became enemies to each other. We don't know what is the cost. And we are looking for the government to come. And one thing that disturbs us, we have military men around, but they can't help us. We want the government to withdraw all the checkpoints out of our Chablan.
There are plenty, more than 200 people attacks.
Did they bring guns? What did they bring?
They bring guns and shooting us and burn our house. Yes.
What were they saying? Did you hear anything they were saying?
They said that they will come back again and kill my children and also my wife, brother.
It's a black Sunday for these people as they gather to bury the remains of their loved ones in a mass grave.
Already about 32 people are killed. About 40 houses were burned. There was nobody that came here to help us. So I don't know. All of us were in pains. We are even confused who to complain to again now. Because we have been complaining and there's no any assistance. When the attack was going on, we called the military. I personally called them and informed them. Well,
so what was
according to them, they said they tried their best. You know, when the attack was going on, I was not there. So I won't say this is what they did. But all what I know, people were killed.
We will not run away from our land. Even if they come tonight after us, we are killed, there will still be some people who will talk, and there will be young who will rise again. Amen. And so we ask that the government of Kaduna State and the government of Federal Republic of Nigeria, they should do the needful. They know what they should do to stop this evil. They know it. I have said it, and let me repeat myself again. If by mistake one cow is killed by any of the community here, the number of military troops that will enter and ransack the community and look for those to arrest because one cow has been killed. And now we have 33 corpses and a young boy of less than 5 years who has been beheaded. What has that young boy done to these evil people?
Several villagers could be seen packing their bags to leave the village. They are scared that the terrorists
must rise up. The armed forces are not neutral. They collude. They collude. They collude with the armed bandits. They kill people, kill Nigerians. They facilitate their movements. They cover them. If you are depending on the armed forces to stop the killings, you will all die one by one.
Are you waiting for the Nigerian terrorists to come to your aid after you have seen all these videos? This is what would have happened in Biafraland without the existence of the Prime Minister stopping the terrorist invasion of Biafraland in the disguise of IDP camps. This is what would have happened. And you have just watched a video where those people in Kaduna are crying and complaining of their people that have been slaughtered. Have you seen the federal government done anything about it? No. That is not the first time of people being slaughtered there. Over 750 here were slaughtered in Plateau. On this very report that you see, December 9, 2023. 750 people were slaughtered in Plateau. This report you see here on the screen was about the Plateau slaughter, the Plateau massacre of 9 December. 9 December of yesterday here. So when you see them crying today that the terrorists are taking over their lands and it's going to become the new internal or modern colonialist of Nigeria in 2024, it is the terrorist conquest which they themselves created, which they say they cannot crush the terrorists, rather they should make them part of the government of the day, which they had wanted to deploy the same terrorists to Biafralands. Mind you, they are deploying these terrorists to Biafralands in the name of military personnel. Because when they come as foot soldiers in the bushes through the aggressive route, we destroy them. And now they have given all of them uniform, recruited them into the Nigerian Army, the Air Force, and the Navy, and the police and civil defense. That is why you now know and see that anybody wearing the uniform of one Nigeria in Biafraland is not doing what is supposed to do in line with the roles of engagement of their duties as a well-trained military personnel. Rather, what they are doing is occupational army who is acting as a terrorist to come and wipe off the entire people in a community in the name of looking for IPOB. Do you hear that? There is no way, and it is not there on One Nigerian News, that the Nigerian army are sent to the north to go and look for indigenous people of the north and kill. But they are sending them to come and look for indigenous persons of Biafra and kill. Why? because they don't want to hear Biafra. So anybody that says it's a Biafra, the instruction is that you must kill the person because the person is a Biafra. I don't know whether some of you comes to this understanding of what is actually happening. Any indigenous person of Biafra is an endangered species to one Nigeria. One Nigeria said they should kill you. But indigenous persons of Yoruba, indigenous persons of Oduduwa nation, indigenous persons of the northern region is not a threat to one Nigeria. Indigenous person of Biafra is a threat to one Nigeria and must be eliminated. That is what they have made you to be. So when you are being declared as a rebel, as a terrorist, when you are not, you have to see those people as vandals and invaders that have come to kill you and treat them as one. We thank the Biafran people who have given their over 50 million votes, which is still counting, to the Biafran government to do what? To carry the mandate and to destroy the terrorist resistance and to fully take over the situation of Biafra land. Because without the Prime Minister, without the Biafran government, without all the armed wings of the Biafran government, we would have been crying more than these people here that cried of over 750 people slaughtered in one day. Our cry for don't pass this one. So we have every reason to be happy for the existence of the Biafran government. And we stand against anything that is calling us rebels. We accept to be called rebels because we must fight for our freedom. And anyone calling us rebels should remember that they are vandals and invaders who have come to vandalize and to destroy our lives and to take over our lands. And we will not allow it to happen. The same way our fathers resisted them, we will resist them in 2024 and beyond. The full and total delegitimization of the Nigerian presence in Biafra land is happening. We continue to call on the attention of all Biafrans to exercise 1,000 miles and kilometers away from every Nigerian terrorist facilities. This starts from their secretariat, both federal and state, their local government, their civil defense unit, their police stations and barracks, their naval barracks and Air Force barracks, their army barracks, and everything that answers Nigerian terrorists in uniform. Everything that upholds the integrity of Nigeria in Biafra land, we are calling on all of you as Biafrans to exercise thousands and miles and kilometers away from those facilities and locations, because the full delegitimization of their existence and presence in Biafra land is still ongoing, and the Biafran government will not stop until they are totally destroyed and dismembered. 2nd December is sacrosanct. We call on all Biafrans to be part and parcel of tomorrow's fundraising. In every activity going on in your area, please be part of it and let your name be registered. It's all about Biafra. And we call on all of you to keep up the faith, because it is all about Biafra. I salute you all. Go and cast your votes. Visit the website and participate in the Biafra Freedom Raffle Draw. Participate in the IOU loan system. Do your ID card. Grab the USBT staking and earn some coins while you are staking. Convert your money in the Nigerian terrorist banking system into the digital currency system, of which the Biafra Ejema USBT BIAFRACOIN is part of it. Stack your money there in a digital coin and get the value of it when you want to use it, while you make some interest, depending on how much you invest. I salute all Biafrans, and we look forward to seeing you. Ndewo Omokineke from here.
We are Biafrans. We can never be Nigerians. Ever Biafra, never Nigeria. Oh Biafra, our own land. Oh Biafra, our own land. We are Biafrans. We can never be Nigerians. Ever Biafra, never Nigeria. Oh Biafra, our own land. Oh Biafra, our own land. We are Biafrans. We can never be Nigerians. Ever Biafra, never Nigeria. Oh Biafra, our own land. Oh Biafra, our own land. We are Biafrans. We can never be Nigerians. Ever Biafra, never Nigeria. Oh Biafra, our own land. Oh Biafra, our own land. We are Biafrans. We can never be Nigerians. Ever Biafra, never Nigeria. Oh Biafra, our own land. Oh Biafra, our own land. We are Biafrans. We can never be Nigerians. Ever Biafra, never Nigeria. Oh Biafra, our own land. Oh Biafra, our own land. We are Biafrans. We can never be Nigerians. Ever Biafra, never Nigeria. Oh Biafra, our own land. Oh Biafra, our own land. We are Biafrans. We can never be Nigerians. Ever Biafra, never Nigeria. Oh Biafra, our own land. Oh Biafra, our own land. We are Biafrans. We can never be Nigerians. Ever Biafra, never Nigeria. Oh Biafra, our own land. Oh Biafra, our own land. We are Biafrans. We can We are Biafrans. We can never, never be Nigerians. Ever Biafra, never Nigerian. Oh Biafra, our homeland. Oh Biafra, our homeland. We are Biafrans. We can never, never be Nigerians. Ever Biafra, never Nigerian. Oh Biafra, our homeland. Oh Biafra, our homeland.